Hi again, welcome back to the Teeny Tiny Kitchen. This could possibly be the name of the show, the Teeny Tiny Kitchen. What do you think? Anyway, so I did say that when I came back I might be doing some more baking, and I am. I am going to be making for you today some banana cakes with a honey icing, which sounds a bit bizarre, but actually super tasty, and again quite easy. I'm trying not to throw sort of really complicated recipes at you, A, because they take too long to film, and B, because I get the thing with me and cooking is that I love simple things. Simple things done well are usually a lot more tasty than super complicated things, which are harder to do properly. So let's start with the basics. Let's get excited about the basics, and then we can get a little bit more creative and a little bit more complex as things move forward. And also as I get more used to the whole filming thing in my tiny small kitchen, which is a little bit weird still. Hopefully you're enjoying my my cookery sort of lessons so far. Please do comment. No mean comments, please. There's no need to be mean. But obviously any feedback or anything like that is always useful. So yes, constructive criticism, if you please. No meanness. We don't need meanness. We like kindness in this world. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Let's get on with some baking. Oven is on, it's preheated to 150 degrees, which is gas mark 3, if memory serves, gas mark 3. So low oven, when we did the vanilla cupcakes, that was slightly higher, that was 170, gas mark 4, so this is slightly lower, and this is because of the kind of the fruit in there, the wetness of the cake. You have to cook it low and slow. So here we go, we're going to make this. So we've got here some plain flour, 125 grams of plain flour. We have got 2 eggs which have been beaten. Can you see that? We have got 75 grams of melted butter. We have got a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. And we also have 75 grams of sugar. Now, the ideal sugar to use in this recipe is light muscovado. Unfortunately, I am fresh out of light muscovado. So what I've done is I've done a little mixture of dark muscovado and white caster sugar. So that just takes the kind of the treacly edge out of the dark muscovado, but still gives it that nice kind of caramel sort of toffee flavour that you want in your cakes. So I've just done a little mixture of the two. We've also got 2 small ripe bananas, which I've mashed into a kind of a banana puree type thing. So first thing we're going to do is, yes, it's the dreaded sieve. We need to sieve. I apologise. Now, last time I used my beautiful KitchenAid. This time we are going to use old-fashioned elbow grease, and we're going to use one of these bad boys, wooden spoon. So let's start by sifting in the dry ingredients. So we're going to go in with the flour. Sift that in. Try and keep it in the bowl, not all over the side like I'm doing. Okay, after that we're going to throw in the raising agents. Now, because we're using plain flour, you do need a raising agent in your cake. So we're using bicarbonate of soda and baking powder. Now, a lot of people probably would say, oh, can I use self-raising flour instead? The self-raising flour basically is plain flour with an added raising agent. The problem with self-raising flour is that it actually contains salt as well. You don't want to put salt in this recipe. It's it's always better to use plain flour with a raising agent added. That way you kind of got a bit more control over how much raising agent you put into your cakes. Throw that in there. I will apologise that this recipe does tend to lead to a little bit of a lot of washing up, sorry. I'm sorry for myself because I have to do all the washing up myself. I don't unfortunately have a team of people like a lot of other video bloggers do. I literally just have me in my little kitchen, so I'm going to have a lot of cleaning up to do later. Right, so I've sifted those in. So let's get rid of that. I'm going to grab another bowl, a larger bowl, and we're going to put in the, oh, I've got something attached to me. We're going to put in the melted butter. Leave that to cool a little bit before you start doing this, because when you add eggs to it, and if the butter's too hot, it will scramble your eggs, and you really don't want that. We're going to put in the eggs. Put in our lovely sugar. And we are going to put banana into. Can't find anything in my kitchen. Aha, there we go. Whisk. So basically we're just going to whisk all of this together, get it all combined. Okay, just get rid of all those lumps of sugar. Okay, and now we're just going to put our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. So this is how you do cupcakes, is you put the dry into the wet. If you make muffins, you put wet into dry. I don't really know why or how that works. I should really look that up. There's some kind of scientific reason behind that, but we're making cupcakes, so we put dry into wet. Flour there. Grab our trusty wooden spoon, and we're just going to mix that all together. Make sure you get all the flour combined in there. It will look lumpy purely because you've got that pureed, not quite pureed, that mashed banana in there, and you can never really get banana super smooth if you're mashing it by hand. Obviously, if you want to put it through a food processor, you can, but honestly, I don't really think there's much point. It's nice to have a little bit of texture in there, and when you cook it, those bits will disperse, and they'll kind of become part of the cupcake. Okay, that's all mixed. We're going to use the same technique that we did for the vanilla cupcakes with the 2 spoons. This is quite a runny mixture, so we're just going to spoon that mixture into the cupcake cases. I realise that you can't see what I'm doing. The reason why I'm over here is that my hob is a bit hot, and I don't really want to cook the cupcakes on the hob. So I'm just going to fill these cupcake cases. Okay, so my cupcake tin is now full. Again, like with the vanilla cupcakes, I only have a muffin tray, and the mixture, if you're using a muffin tray, doesn't look like it will stretch across all 12 muffin tins. And they will, when they rise, they will be quite small, but they will still taste good. But if you can do them in a cupcake tray with cupcake papers, it's much better. They will rise a lot more. Look quite so sad when they're finished. Right, so we're going to pop that into our preheated oven, 150 degrees, gas mark 3, for 25 to 30 minutes until they're cooked through. Same as we did before. Cake tester, knife, piece of spaghetti, popped in. If it comes out clean, they're cooked. So in they go. So our cupcakes, our lovely banana cupcakes, are now cooked and completely cool, so we can ice them. We're going to make some lovely honey icing to go on top of these cakes. I will just give you a little bit of information which I've just realised. Normally I would screenshot all the ingredients that you need to make whatever dish it is that I'm showing you, but I've had a few gadgetry technical issues, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to put those on the video blog today. What I will do, however, is I will list all the ingredients for you sort of around the comment section, so if you do want to make this recipe, all the ingredients will be there for you. So apologies for that. This is what happens in the world of technology. Things sometimes go wrong. Never mind. We'll get on anyway with the icing to ice our cupcakes. So what we're going to use is, it's kind of like a buttercream, because it's got butter and icing sugar, like the buttercream that we made for those lovely vanilla cupcakes. But this has got the addition of honey, which goes beautifully with bananas. So we've got 100 grams of very soft unsalted butter. Now to that, I'm going to add equal amounts of sugar and honey. I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of each. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just use the spoon that I use at the table. That's a dessert spoon. It's not a tablespoon. A tablespoon is actually a unit of measure. It's 15 millilitres. A dessert spoon, I will tell you exactly what that unit of measure is because it says so on my spoon. It's actually 7.5 millilitres. A teaspoon, the usual teaspoon that you would use to make a cup of tea, should be about 5 millilitres. So 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. What I would recommend, highly recommend, is to get yourself a set of these measuring spoons. They're really not expensive. I actually got these in the pound shop, so £1 because it's the pound shop. Anyway, so 5 tablespoons of icing sugar are going to go in. And then we're going to put 5 teaspoons of honey in here. Now, a good trick, if you're using anything like honey, golden syrup, treacle, anything that's sticky, either wet the spoon first or oil the spoon first. So I'm going to oil my spoon. I can find some oil. You obviously use a non-flavoured oil, so vegetable oil, something like that. Don't use olive oil because that will just... it will taste and you don't want it to taste. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of oil onto my spoon. And I've got some squeezy honey, make it a bit easier. And I'm just going to squeeze in those 5 tablespoons. It just runs off really easily. And the last one. Hopefully that was 5. Were you counting? I was trying to count. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our trusty wooden spoon friend. We should draw a face on him or something. It could be like a little character. If anyone watched Button Moon when they were a kid, Mr. Spoon. So I'm just literally going to mix all of this together. It helps if you've got very soft butter. It also helps if you've got strong arm muscles, which I don't really have, despite wishing I did. Doing a lot of running and that kind of pumping action, which should give you muscles, not so much. So we're going to get that combined. Okay, so that's all combined together, or as combined as I can get it. Good workout. It may well be a good idea to sift your icing sugar before you put it in, which, as you saw, I didn't do. My icing sugar is a little bit clumpy, I think just because it's damp, so it made it a little bit harder to mix it all together. Or you can use your handheld electric whisk, which makes it a little bit easier. So we've got that all mixed together. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get a mini palette knife, all worn out now, mini palette knife. I'm literally just going to grab a wodge of icing, and just smear it all over the top of the cake. No piping necessary here. This is literally just blob it on and squidge it round. No need to be super good at icing in this case. So just get it as even as you can. And what I like to do is just give it a little kind of move your palette knife around a little bit in the middle and sort of ping it up. So it gives it a bit of a textured finish. Can you see that? There we go. Bit of a textured finish to the icing. Now, what would be lovely here, if you have it, and weirdly I have some at work, I don't have them here, would be to add some dried banana chips on top. So obviously that's going to echo the bananas that you've put into the cake. Really nice decoration. You could decorate it with anything else that you wanted, to be honest. You can get some great cake decorating things from the supermarket now. Sprinkles, edible flowers, those kind of things. So feel free to decorate your cake as you wish, or you can just leave them plain, as I will do. And there we go. So lovely, yummy banana cupcakes with honey icing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please like the video, subscribe, and I'll be back. Thanks for watching. Bye.